What's up, everybody? Sports Counterpoints podcast. We're back at it. Today is June the 13th, 2023. I'm GB. That's Brian. That's Coop.
Here we go. Let's do it.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Now, this is a slow sports cycle, but we still doing it. It's
the start of it. You feel me? So it's all good. We got so today we're talking NBA playoffs, of course, as the Nuggets win the finals. We're talking about the NHL as they're in the finals. I think that game's playing now, if I'm not mistaken.
It's over.
The game was played, but it's over. Yeah.
What's the score?
9-3 was the final
score.
Oh,
in a hockey game?
Yes.
Dang. Okay.
It's in the bottom of it's in the bottom of the six right now.
Oh, no. You're talking about the A's
I'm playing. No, hockey. Seriously. It's 9-3.
Got it.
That was final score.
Hilarious. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the Golden Knights have won the championship.
Yes,
Vegas is going to go dumb, man. What a place to be. So if that happens, and then we'll talk a little golf with the RBC Canadian Open. The U.S. Open is this week. And also, I want to talk about the A's and their potential move to Vegas also as they watch a championship parade happen. So let's start with NBA playoffs, man. It's over. Denver Nuggets are the NBA champions. What's up?
Go ahead, B. Take your first victory lap.
I love being right. But 4-1. Like, I think we're on the same thing on this one. So, I don't think
I thought it was going to be a sweep. So,
yeah. No, look, you can't. Prideful people find ways to win a game. It is rare that you get a sweep at this level. I know that everyone's going to say the Lakers just got swept, but that's, things happen, but it's not something that people put out there like, oh, it's a given. It's nowhere close to a given. These are great basketball players. Jimmy Butler was playing his butt off and doing everything he possibly could. The rest of the team, were trying. This wasn't, there was no point in time where you felt like they gave up. They're just not talented enough. And the Denver Nuggets are supremely talented, and they got hot at the right time, rode that hot streak right through the playoffs into a first championship. And congratulations to them. But 4-1 would seem like a pretty good estimate just by giving them one. If I would have thought which game that they were going to win, it darn sure wouldn't have been the game that they won. Game 2, I would have been game 3 or 4. But, that's just how these things work. Yeah. So, congratulations to Jamal Murray. I know that everyone's going to talk about how Jokic played amazing, and he did. And he did his thing. But the difference here was how much Jamal Murray showed up and showed out in these playoffs. People could not find a way to contain him. He looked like the healthy Jamal Murray we saw in the bubble playoffs before he got hurt. And he really kind of came into his own. I guess the question will be whether he can sustain that in the regular season. And so, I understand where people are gonna put a lot of credit all on Jokic's lap, and he deserves the vast majority of that. But I think that there needs to be some leftover love for Jamal Murray and how he played, and some of the other players too. I mean, this wasn't done. Like KCP looked good in the playoffs, and he
Michael Porter Jr. was balling too. Gordon, they was just right where they need to be in key spots.
In the fourth quarter, when they kind of did the stretch point, made some outstanding plays where he went full court and used his length to put the defender in an impossible position. And they all played well. Jason, I know you and I were pretty much on the same page on this one, but what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I had this in 5, and my whole thing is every time Denver played in the playoff series, I always brought up Jamal Murray because I just thought he was just being, undervalued as a player. I think he's a lot better player than most people give him credit for. Of course, now he's going to get credit because he's on the national stage and won a title.
Balling for years.
The dude's been balling. It's just that he had that ACL slip last year, just trying to come back, and it seems like now he's fully recovered. But like you said, Brian, congratulations to Denver. And in series like this, if you win a championship, it basically comes down to not who your number 1 is, but who your number 2 is. And Denver clearly has number 2 in Murray. In Miami, we do not know who their number 2 is. It can't be Bam because he's not really a offensive player, but they just don't have a number 2. They need a little more, and that's why when Miami was down.
He's not there yet.
Right. And so that's why you kind of saw articles or at least I saw articles when they were down 2-1 or 3-1, how, they might try to go after Damian Lillard or some guy that can score points and help out Jimmy Butler. Because obviously he was gassed yesterday. I think he only had 8 points through 3 quarters. You can't do it all alone in the NBA. It just, Kobe tried it, Jordan tried it. It just doesn't work. You need help. It's a team sport, and it's the highest level. This is not high school. It's not college, where you get like one game and maybe you can put it together. This is a 7-game series. So you need help. And I hope Jimmy Butler, well, as a Laker fan, I hope, LeBron and AD get help, but you also just want to see Miami get help, because I like watching Jimmy Butler play, and you kind of want to see him, win a ring. So if it can't be the Lakers, and I guess the Heat and Pat Riley, but Denver's just a better team, and they proved it. This was not a surprise to any of us. I mean, you picked a sweep, Glenn. Me and Brian had it in 5, so we pretty much had it as a non-competitive series. So congratulations to Denver. But I do have a question for both of you. I'm gonna start with you, Brian. Do you have Denver as of right now? No personnel change with any team. Do you have them as the favorite to win it next year or come out the West?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, all right, me either.
Look. I said this on our podcast. The Lakers versus Denver was the real kind of championship, because I firmly believe that if the Lakers had gotten past them, they would have also beaten Miami for the exact same reasons. Just too much depth, too much talent. The thing about Denver was that they got hot at the right time, and that's awesome. But timing doesn't always work that perfectly.
Yeah.
Jokic, this is a team that has made it to the playoffs numerous times with the same talent for the most part, as the same core of this team, and we're first-round exits. Now, that's not to say they're going to be a first-round exit next year. That's not even to say that they won't win it all. It's just to say that I don't think that they're, hands down, going to, walk in as the, we're here to repeat type champs. I don't think anyone thinks that that's the case. I'd probably include Jokic in that. I don't think Jokic thinks that's the case.
Yeah,
they were the number 1 team though, so it's not.
Yeah, they were. This season they were
dominant all year. Yeah.
This to me looked like the year. I remember it was funny. Ideally, we got swept by the Mavericks. And when the Mavericks won the title, they beat the Miami Heat. And I looked at that year was when the Dallas won it, Sean Marion, Kidd, and all them. I'm like, that's not a dynasty team right there. But they got hot that year. Matchups were favorable, and they ended up winning the title. Congratulations to them. But nobody was shocked that they never went back again or even got close to going back again after that. So that's kind of how I think that this Denver team's a little bit better. But I don't. People are talking about dynasty and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know about all that. Yeah,
Malone mentioned it because he was saying, as a coach and as a motivator of men or motivator of a team, motivator of people, I say men in this specific situation because his team is men, not anyway. He was saying that, we created this first goal, we got the championship. Next is, dynasty. That's what, and I don't know that he's saying they're going to be a dynasty, but he's saying there's more to go for. There's more to fight for. Yeah. I think Denver has the capability because you could easily add a piece or two or subtract a piece. Like they've played so well as a cohesive unit that if you can, it's just hard to capture that genie in the bottle again and make it happen for another year. But I thought they played great, man. The whole playoffs, Murray was unstoppable. KCP hit clutch shots. Aaron Gordon was hitting clutch shots and layups and rebounds. Like everyone on the team. What's the boy? Bruce Bowen, Bobby Brown.
Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. The backup point guard.
He was out here.
He did his thing.
Had some clutch plays. I know. You got to give it to him all the way. And Miami, to me, was amazing to get where they got. I know you're not, you want to win it all, but there was no way they were winning that series with that team. And I honestly don't care if Tyler Hero or whoever, underdog, whoever was on the team, he wasn't.
He's not a factor.
He could play, and the games where it could have been closer, but I don't think he's that's it. Now we're over the top. So
right.
Also, I will say, the homie Dennis was mentioning this too, which is cool. Is like, this is a playoffs where we didn't have a lot of major injuries during the whole playoff cycle. And that was actually fun to watch also.
Yeah. Because a lot of times injuries, when the Warriors lost mainly, to Toronto, that had to do with injuries to, KD and Clay. So injuries do play a part in the playoffs, but it didn't play a part in this one, which actually
as much.
Which actually good as much. Which is actually good.
So that was good.
So Denver won that.
Good playoff series. I can't even lie. It was a good playoff run the whole way. So
the least compelling series that was probably the finals.
Yeah.
And that was dang good. It was actual good basketball.
Exactly. It was still good. You just had to force yourself to watch it. Like, there's no I do not enjoy watching Jokic. I was asked this the other day. Someone was saying, do you think Jokic is the best player in the league right now? No. But I also have a bias in that I don't enjoy watching him play basketball. I don't think, but is he supremely talented? Absolutely. Can he do things that no other player on the court can do when it comes to being able to pass and shoot and make plays and all these other, yes. But I don't enjoy him watching him play basketball. And so, this was one of those series where when I didn't even care enough about him to root against him. Like, you know what I mean? And so when you have a player that doesn't have that dynamic, it's harder to get people to watch because you watch to root against people. I have a really close friend that you all are aware of who for years watched Laker games to root against them. And that was because he wanted to root against, Kobe and so on and so forth. There's players that are so good, great, or divisive that they can get you to watch even if you're not wanting to root for them. Jokic falls in that crack in the middle where, I don't think a lot of people root for him. I think people think he's great. I don't think people root against him. And Jamal Murray hasn't kind of come into his own as that kind of player. He's got the skills, but he's just not there yet.
I don't think they're that team, which is kind of may work to your advantage, right? Because
they're not polarizing at all.
And people were gunning for Kobe. People were gunning for Jordan. Like you're getting their best every night. I think the Nuggets will get a good game, but to your point, I don't know that anybody's just like, oh, I'm going to take these boys down. Like they just seem like genuinely kind of nice guys on the low, just playing basketball really well.
Yeah. And Jimmy Butler, I think people are so confused by him because they heard so many stories about him before, being the bad guy in Minnesota, and then whatever the weird oddities that happened in Philadelphia that ended up in Miami. But then now it's the exact opposite where he is the player that people want to root for. So people don't get to the point of
winning helps that. Winning helps always.
It helps, but it also helps that his teammates are the vocal point about his success, right? It's all of his teammates, including the ones in Philly. Like Embiid will say the same thing. Jimmy Butler's the guy. He's a great teammate, so on and so forth. That helped. But anyways, because of that back and forth, he's also kind of caught in the middle. I don't think people were tuning in to root for or against Jimmy either. And so that made it a less compelling series. We talked about it. Like obviously the NBA would have loved to see Celtics versus the Lakers because it doesn't matter what the names are on the team.
Right.
Sure.
LeBron being there, but the Celtics versus the Lakers puts people, in front of the tournament.
You got history, you got East versus West, you got this, you got that, you got people that hate them, love them. So right.
Liberal Los Angeles versus conservative. Like every type of storyline you can think of that worked.
Yeah, they played it up since the 80s.
Most people won't be able to tell you if Colorado's a blue state or not.
Probably, I think it's blue because of marijuana. I think it's blue.
But the same goes for Florida. Like you don't, you just everything falls kind of in the middle. Now we all know.
Sure, but
and usually when teams like this win their first title in areas, I would say there's not a lot of pressure. Like New York, LA, there's more pressure. Denver, Milwaukee, you win a title, man, you're good for the rest of your career. You can eat for free in every restaurant, for as long as you are in the area. You know what I mean? Denver really doesn't have any pressure to win another title, which is why when stuff like this happens, when Dallas or these other ancillary teams, not ancillary, but teams in these, I guess, non-pressure market cities win a title, the next year they usually don't go back to back. You know what I mean? They'll have a decent season, but they'll bow out. But the fans will still be happy because they got a title last year. Cleveland, Denver, Toronto, cities like that. You can
Milwaukee,
win one.
All these teams. That's actually a good point because
and you can be good.
I never tripped off Toronto not getting back or Milwaukee or them. Like I never
nobody cares
any less. That's a good point. Like, hey, you did it. Cleveland, right? LeBron did that one. Amazing. And I'll never look at. That's a good point. You're not a title town yet where people are like.
I know people from Cleveland. They'll never be mad again. They'll be like, we got one NBA title. They ain't mad. They're like, we got one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So true.
That's a good point. I like that idea. Okay. Word. Well, speaking of champions, man, the NHL, bro, y'all said the game ended and my Vegas was whipping that tail on the low. Like all these games were hella high scoring.
Yeah. Brian, take a second victory lap. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is the other one that I call the 4-1. Like the Las Vegas Knights have been otherworldly, and even if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to root for Jonathan Quick because he used to be a King and was kind of a legacy superstar there. But anyways, congratulations to them. They were clearly the better team going into this series. They were the betting favorites. it just was not a hard one to pick. And again, talented teams find ways to win one game. Florida did that, and congratulations to them. But they're not at that level yet, or sorry, they're not at that level now. And the Knights have been ready. So congratulations to them. Glad to have been able to pick both of those correctly. Jason, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I picked this in 6 for Vegas to win. I thought Florida would give them more of a battle, and it just seems like when the games were in Vegas, it just wasn't good. It wasn't competitive. It was 5-2, 7-2, and then 9-3 today. I mean, they gave up 21 goals, 16-5, 21 goals, and scored
crazy.
7 themselves. That in hockey, that's ridiculous in
Insane.
3 games. But yeah, 5 games. Yeah, it's a 5-game series. So yeah, they won 4-1. But congratulations to Vegas. I'm not even going to sit here and break down both teams as if I watched both teams all season. The only team I really know about is the Philadelphia Flyers. I let you know I had the winner. I had the better team, and congratulations to Vegas. And then Denver's up to not too far, so it looks like that little area is pretty much celebrating crazy now. So
to win a championship in Vegas, man, or Miami, or like cities like that where I could just win and go directly to the turn up for as many days as you chose is kind of dope.
Yep.
But yeah, good for them, man. That's another title in Vegas, and they got the WBA, they got this one. We'll see what happens in the other major sports because I don't see it coming.
In baseball,
no soon.
We'll see what happens in baseball when they get
right.
there.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, let's do that now since we're right there. I mean, let's it ties in. A's talking about going to Vegas. They're having a reverse boycott today, which I thought was dope. Like you buy tickets instead of not going to the game, you go to the game and show like we actually support the team. We just don't support the owner. With sell the team shirts. And I think I heard last I read it's like they had sold 10,000. So they actually got some people in the stands. I haven't seen it personally, but interesting thought, man. I saw people voting against it. I saw, I think they got one key vote they needed today, but A's going for that money, man. What y'all think about this?
The A's problem is going to be like the Raiders problem, which is not a problem the Rams had because the Rams understood that the market and state they were going to. And that problem is people in California do not pay for stadiums. They just don't.
Oh, you can't.
I mean, the guy Stan Kroenke paid for his own stadium for the Rams and for the Chargers to play
most of it.
The Raiders wanted money. No, they pay all. That's all the money. No,
but I'm sure but you as a city or a municipality is going to put up for some improvements to infrastructure.
No, city put up nothing. California does not pay a dime for stadiums.
So this was when Jason, when you said that in the chat, I was like, I know that Kroenke did it, but did all the other teams? There are literally 3 teams that in each sport, and it's the Giants, it's the
49ers pay for their own stadium.
49ers, it's the Rams, Chargers, and it's also the Warriors.
Yep,
they're the teams that paid for their own time.
I guess there's some cost to the city impact, but maybe it's not like it ain't gonna be 750 million, but it's gonna be something you have to put up.
The improvements around the stadium were all paid for. Those improvements around Stan Kroenke, which are minimal, which is why it sucks to get in and out of that stadium. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that boy Stan Kroenke owns the Nuggets too.
Yeah. But did he still? Yeah, he did own the Nuggets. I think he still owns them. Yeah, he still owns them.
And the Avalanche and all 3 of them teams have won a championship in the last.
Yeah, so he has titles. Yeah, he got titles. But yeah, man, California doesn't pay for stadiums, and one of the things about the A's is they're trying to get the Nevada taxpayers to pay $380 million to help, build stadiums.
Yeah, that's their biggest hurdle. I think they're going to do it, quite honestly.
Yeah, well, I think so too. And so, yes, they had the hearing last week, and the A's really didn't look so good in the hearing because they had one a month before, and they were supposed to come back with a breakdown of some questions that the Nevada people had, and they had no answers and the A's president was getting questioned about, what were they going to do to help the community around there? And also, how can you promise 27,000 fans per game when you only get 8,000, right? 8,700 or so right now.
27,000 today in the reverse boycott.
At the
27,000. Yep.
Yeah. So the A's don't average nowhere close to that. So they're pretty much want to know, how can you say you're going to get triple the attendance and you didn't even get that during playoff games? You weren't even close to that. So those are legitimate questions by Nevada. But at the end of the day, I still think the A's are moving because, number one, Oakland doesn't have any money. It's a broke city. Taxpayers ain't paying for it.
No,
nobody
it's too expensive.
Nobody in their right mind is going. I mean, I love East Oakland, love it from there, whatever. born, raised, yada, yada, yada. Nobody's going to pay no damn money to build a stadium in East Oakland. It's just not going to happen. When teams come over to Oakland to play the Oakland A's or the Golden State Warriors, when they played in Oakland, they stayed in San Francisco and hung out in San Francisco. They didn't stay in Oakland and they didn't hang out in Oakland or even near the surroundings. They all stayed in San Francisco. So nobody's building a stadium in Oakland, which why it wasn't surprising for the Warriors to move. I mean, it makes financial sense for them to go out there and get that money, just like it makes financial sense for Oakland to leave. The owner, yes, he's rich. I mean, he has a lot of money there. Yeah. He doesn't want to own the A's. He just wants to move to Vegas or somewhere else, increase the value of the team, then sell the team. And whoever sells the team does whatever the hell he wants to do. He's just trying to get out of Oakland. And right now, Vegas is I guess the most viable option, trying to follow the path of the Raiders. And, they've been talking about for years how, they got the hockey, they got the football. Now it's probably time to get a baseball team there. So the A's seem like the perfect fit. And they're from California. It seems like they'll have a little bit of a fan base, but they don't really have much of a history in the last 20 years. So I'm not sure how attendance is going to be.
I would change everything.
Yeah,
I would get there and vote for the team name, team colors. I would change it all.
Yeah, and I don't know how Vegas, and I personally don't know. I haven't read up. I don't know how Vegas people feel about baseball as well. So I know out here in the Bay Area, I've been to a few A's games. Glenn, me and you have gone. People love the A's out here, but
they're realistic fans.
But the few people that do, it's not enough to keep the team here or make financial sense, to get players and things like that. And then also my last point, Brian, before I let you go, the A's are the only team in Major League Baseball without a team radio deal. They don't have a team radio deal. Every team has a radio deal. They don't even have one. So it's bad financially for Oakland. So they have to move. And I think Vegas will be, I think eventually, like Brian said, they'll figure it out and they'll end up going to Las Vegas. Any thoughts on this, B?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I'll say is when they go to Vegas, they're not banking on people becoming A's fans. Sure, that will happen a little bit, but just like with the Raiders, they recognize that what they're really going to be able to do is give tickets away to the people who are in the city and all that. They're going to have, based on what I've seen of the stadium, which looked absolutely beautiful, although that retractable roof doesn't even need to be retractable because you're not playing summer sports with that roof open in Las Vegas at 120 degrees. Damn that. Because I won't go to an indoor baseball game if it's going to be at 120 degrees. But anyways, they'll probably have some amazing restaurants. It'll have a club vibe. It'll be one of those things where you're going to a casino and they're going to be like, hey, I want to get tickets, and they're going to have boxes for the high rollers. Like that, the experience is not going to be about the team or the game or rooting for what's going on. It's going to be about the atmosphere of it all. And if they're smart when they build it, it's going to be the shortest tracks in baseball because they're going to want to see dinger after dinger.
Right.
Yep. They're going to want that Colorado home run experience.
You got to have a short porch somewhere. Yeah.
35,000 seats too. So it's the smallest stadium it would be in the league.
There you go. I mean, but I guarantee you that they're communal spaces, and when you go to the Laker game, they have a couple of clubs there, and all of those good things. It's absolutely about the experience about doing that, right? Yeah. 35,000 tickets. I don't think they're going to expect that to be filled all the time.
Especially on weekdays,
You have a better chance though at 35,000. Like you said, you hand out tickets, and no matter how you slice it, there's people that are in town on a business trip till Tuesday, Wednesday. There's always someone, if you're just sitting around.
Conventions nonstop. And so, what better thing to do than if you're a vendor hosting a bunch of people at a Las Vegas convention saying, we rented this box out, we'll all come over there. Yeah. That's what the experience is about. And you can market that a lot easier than rooting or marketing fandom.
Right.
Fandom goes up and down. Fans come and go. Fans are fickle. Most fan bases aren't die hard.
Yes, like it's TV rights, it's baseball, advertising, it's a premium seats.
The thing about baseball, you need people to go to the game. They can't rely on TV money like the NFL. The NFL can rely on TV money. Baseball can't. They need people to go to the game. So if you can get, you don't have to fill it up, but if you get some people like Brian said, just get them in there and have them buy stuff. I mean, that's good enough.
35,000, you have a chance.
Well,
I don't think they're going to have any problems managing that team once it's there.
Yeah, right.
For at least 15
year or two.
years while the stadium still feels new. And
of
course they're going to get, they're going to
100%.
get, they're going to get all types of opportunities to host events. Like I absolutely All-Star game will already be
Probably
there
be
before they
there.
can get it filled.
Sure. Yep.
That'll sell out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
they'll
plus
find other things to do. With it being relatively small, I'm thinking about like, why wouldn't you have a Little League World Series where you have a huge fan base?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
all that kind of stuff? Or why wouldn't you have, Olympics or Junior
College
Olympics
World
or things like that?
Series, the World Baseball Classic, and for sure.
Yeah, and plus, also in July, you can definitely sell that because a lot of those AAU tournaments are out there in July. So it's always people every single week in July. You can do kids stuff out there, get kids to the stadium, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's things you can do. I'm with you on that. You have to look at it as a marketing tool, not really, like you said, fandom for the A's, because that's not really what it's going to be about.
Yeah, they said I think it's part of the proposal, the A's have to pledge 500,000 a year to the local community,
business,
which they're you'll make that. Like
which
you said,
he
sell that team and he's out of there.
Yeah. So,
work.
I'll see it happening.
Yeah, 500,000 could be tickets to games. That's that's easy work. So, yeah, no, it looks like it's gonna happen. I do see like there are gonna be people who are fighting in Vegas though too. Who are like, man, we can use this money in the school system. You could use this money for roads. Like, everything isn't the Strip. But I think they're saying if y'all want to see this money, that's what you need.
Well, their argument was, why should we pay for the A's when we haven't given money to healthcare and we haven't given money in social programs, no social
100% is correct.
or social programs within. So why would we give you money to bring a baseball team and we can't even fund stuff that our community already needs? And so they're trying to get the A's to help fund those social things, causes, and health stuff that that Vegas doesn't currently do right now.
We'll see. I don't know if it's the right way to go about it.
Vegas.
Like you wait for people to get comfortable and then you hit them up for the money. Like you don't hit, before someone comes over your house, when you come over, I'm gonna ask you for money every 15 minutes. Well, then I ain't coming over. Right. What you do is you wait till they get to your house, you sit out in the seat, you give them a beer, and then you're like, so
let me tell you about this.
Oh, we got a little problem. I'm telling you, we got a problem.
It's hot in here, isn't it? Man. Yeah, I couldn't turn on the AC.
They're like, hey, how you doing? Whew, I'm glad you asked. Look, let me tell you.
No, it's real. Yeah, and they just get the Raiders all that money, but the Raiders are highest ticket sales. Highest cost ticket and average ticket.
Well, the first year they were there, they sold out. They made the most money off TV of ticket revenue than any team in the.
Easy, bro. It was like Brian said, though. You're everything he said. The club section, your marketing experiences. There's not even. I was there. Trust me, their marketing experiences.
Right. And look, I'm trying to go to the Raider game and not even to really see the Raiders, but to really just see your stadium. You know what I mean? So
man,
they got me.
We're going December 10th. So anybody who watches the show, y'all want to come rock with us? December 10th, and the Raiders play
December 10th, and then also the first preseason game, the Raiders and 49ers will be there as well. So
I might do that too. Yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the A's. Sliding out, man. Let's round it out to some golf, the other round ball. Man, so you have the RBC. Did you watch? I don't know if you watched any of this, Coop, but
I didn't.
RBC Canadian Open happens, and Canadian hasn't won since like 1950 something, and it's their Open and they had the boy Taylor's last name's Taylor, Nick Taylor, right? Yeah. Man, he's playing some golf. He's getting down to the end, and then that boy, what's his name? I just watched this too. Who tied with him to go to the playoffs?
It was hold on. Before I could forget.
Tommy Fleetwood. Yeah,
there you go.
In a new Fleetwood.
Fleetwood Mac. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Came up, bro. Pulled up on him. That boy, and they made it exciting. Then they ended up going to like 4 playoff holes. On the time up, and on the last one, that boy Nick Taylor gets on the green, has like a 73 or 72 yard,
feet,
72 feet putt, uphill a little bit. Man, hits that joint straight, bang, knocks it in, bro. Crowd goes wild.
Everything about his whole demeanor when he lined up for that putt was, I'm gonna lag it close and take my birdie.
Just like you're supposed to do.
That's exactly like you're supposed to do. And like he barely got on in the first time place, but what a putt, money putt.
Fantastic.
But it's not one of those putts like when you hit it, everyone's like, oh, that's gonna go in. Like Rahm has had that putt, Tiger's had that putt, or Speed has had that putt. This one we were like, maybe. Oh, oh damn, he made it. You know, it was pretty it was great to watch.
Bro, super
Also
fun.
because they went 18, 18, 9, 18, and they looked like they were going to be going and doing 18 again. At that point in time, it's just going to keep on going. And so people are running across the course to try and get to the other hole, and then running back. And
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was you know, a little bit of chaotic, but also a lot of awesome.
Yeah, it was cool to see. It was cool to see. No real live speak at this tournament, so we'll see what happens as the Open plays.
There was a little bit because Rory was in the field, and this was the first tournament since the merger, and so he was interviewed pretty regularly, and he.
I'm sorry, I just watched the putt. I'm sorry, I just watched it. I just watched that
Crazy.
putt.
For anybody watching the video of this, you get to see the reaction. Jason's reaction is exactly what my reaction was and Glenn's reaction was.
Watching it live. Yep.
Yeah, it was incredible. But anyways, Rory got asked in the weekly how he felt about it, everything. I thought he put it in great terms in which he basically said this was, you know, this is not a live merger. Like, this is PIF deciding that they're going to put money. And he said, you know, what's his name? I'm going to say the PGA head. He's like, he now has the ability to end.
Jay Monahan.
There we go.
Yeah.
And he says, so, you know, that's a great thing because I want Liv gone and so on and so forth. But that was really the only talk on that topic. There has been a lot going on. So I've actually been watching, well, yesterday when I was home, instead of having to go in the office, I was watching the US Open coverage. And it's literally just there's 4 people basically just talking about golf and everything that's going on. And I learned so much more about the merger and everything about it. The short of it is, yeah, this is definitely PIF putting money into PGA golf and the DP Tour. There's a reason why you're not seeing Greg Norman say anything. It's because he's most likely out and has no job. And then all of, you know, you notice that Mickelson and DeChambeau and all those folks who got real loud real quick when they saw the news, after they learned the details, got real quiet because, you know, they realized they got 10% of a penny. You know, Live Golf is just going to disappear, and all the percentages that they got. Now they're still going to get their bonuses or got their bonuses, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm curious to see how that blends, and then they're going to have more investigation now. I think SEC wants to look at the books, and there's going to be all kind of stuff that
They'll
happens.
be a private entity before they can. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. It's a smart business move.
And they spent something like $15 million on just trying the case. Now the PGA was winning, but they spent $15 million. They were dipping into reserve money, which you know, it's not something anyone wants to do for any reason. Like when you go into the rainy day fund, which is what the PGA had to do and try these things, you know, that's different. When you got $816 billion worth of assets,
Man.
you know, $15 million is around
nothing. That's crazy. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then we got the Open this week too. The US Open held at LA Country Club, right?
Absolutely. I used to work caddy corner to it in Beverly Hills, and I've never got to play the course. I've been invited a couple times, but never been able to do it. But you know, it's supposed to be an iconic course. It's supposed to be a beautiful course. But one thing that makes it super unique, and Glenn, this will make you want to play the course. The 15th hole will be the shortest hole ever in the US Open.
Yeah.
At 80 yards on Saturday.
Yeah, wow. I thought I saw
80 yards.
I thought I saw 124.
So,
well, it ranges on distances, but on Saturday it will be 80 yards.
That's
so that's
awesome.
you and you're 52. Yeah.
Man, I'm in there. They had Coop. They said that, but see, the thing is, they have a 290-yard par 3.
Yeah.
Bro, that's hella far for 3 strokes.
Right.
Yeah. I can hit a good drive and not get on the green.
I can't. I'm in my mind already thinking of, okay, my next shot, I'm gonna try and get on. Like, that's crazy. So they got like some long, like the joint is long, really interesting. And the way the fairways are cutting, it slopes. Like you could be in the middle of the fairway and that joint will roll all the way, and the rough is like this tall. Like, ball's gone. Like, so it's gonna be really interesting.
I know people who are members there. Some that I used to work with before, and one that I kind of not work with, but runs is a vendor that I talk to, kind of thing. And they play there, regularly, and people who've played there all say the same thing. It's beautiful and it is ridiculously tough and ridiculously difficult. So it'll be really interesting. I mean, the thing that makes the US Open fun to watch, even if you're not a golfer, is because great golfers get made human for a weekend. I mean, it is the hardest golf tournament you will ever see. You will see way more people over par than under par. Sometimes the winning score is the low number is +4, +5 on the week, when usually it's -14 and from there.
Yeah.
So it is the most democratic. Anyone can go and find a way in if you go and win your regionals and work your way in. It's an open, because that's why they call it the Open, but it is also the hardest difficult. So if you're an amateur and you find your way into the field only to then play the hardest course with the hardest setup, that's a cruel awakening. But you made it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Accomplishment. Made it.
Yeah, it's gonna be hardcore. So that's interesting. That's a little bit of golf. Man, that's our show for today. Let's end up with our last couple segments. So you got let's start with what's hella hogwash.
I got nothing.
Really?
Yeah, right. Seriously, I have nothing this week.
I was watching 49er Garoppolo highlights earlier, so
that's hogwash.
There you go.
That right there is hogwash.
I saw that there was not a block in sight, but go ahead, Brian.
Oh man.
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna go. My hogwash is gonna go outside of the. Actually, my hogwash is for our old friend Stefan Diggs, who today announced that he's going to be holding out and looking.
Did he?
Yeah. So he's got $22 million guaranteed this year, with a $24 million contract. He cannot be traded because of this money, and he is sitting out mini camps and which I think OTAs, which all started recently. And the rumbling is he's unhappy with his deal, which is astronomical for a wide receiver. And a friend of mine, Dave, was reached out and kind of complaining because he's got him as a keeper in our fantasy league, and he's like, this sucks and all that other stuff. And I said, as a Vikings fan, I could never imagine that Stefan Diggs would get himself so full of himself and start demanding ridiculous things when he's shown nothing but the best, right? I mean, the Minnesota Vikings did nothing but treat him well. He had the huge moment in New Orleans, and he was completely uninterested in being part of a team that was voted the best team to be a member of, not because of money or anything else, because of facilities and the organization and all that kind of stuff. And he dumped all over him. And that's how he ended up in Buffalo.
When he did that, Brian, was he in his last year of his deal? He is right now? Okay. All right. So he's in the last year of his deal right now.
He kind of showed up. I mean, he was there.
Right.
He was there, but left. Like, I think he had some medical tests and it broke out, but he was there.
Yeah. He had to do the medical test to be able to make the money. Like, there's a big difference. There's a difference between holding out and sitting out.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, he's back to being his old jerk self. I say it kind of smiling. That's hogwash. It's a bunch of crap when you got $22 million guaranteed, and you're just like, well, what about me?
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
So that's a bunch of hogwash. But I'm smiling because we got, that's how we got Jefferson. Literally the pick that we got for Diggs turned into Jefferson.
Yeah, and Jefferson reported today, or came in some today every time.
With a grin on, I'm sure.
Yeah, they thought he was.
And everybody knows that we're going to pay. He's going to become the highest paid wide receiver.
Right, he's going to be the highest paid wide receiver.
And everyone in the organization has said that we can't imagine having a Vikings team without him.
Yeah.
And
he's going to be the highest paid receiver.
Knowing it's done.
Right, and Bosa's going to be the highest paid defensive player. I mean, it's just going to happen this season for both of them. Yeah.
Yep. Has to. Word. My hogwash. I thought you were going to say Trump, Brian. And that
no, it's coming.
Oh, please, not guilty.
Hilarious. All right,
Trump, please, not guilty.
It was whether or not I was using it for hogwash.
I got you. I took your thunder. No, mine goes to myself. for talking about this basketball season like I did. GB is holy hogwash, man. Hello hogwash. This was actually a great season. Hella intrigue. We had all kind of funny moments happen. We had, if you think about just this one season, the Lakers had Westbrook, Beverly. We had a whole different team. We had given up on the season as of the Orlando game, which was like 2 games or so left in the season. Go to the finals, which is wild. The Nuggets are coming on like they have. That's been amazing. They were playing good for years, but seeing Murray and them boys put it together, Miami getting to the finals, the Celtics going out again, and that team's going to blow up. Just all of it, man. There was actually a lot of good stuff that happened throughout the season. So for me to talk about not liking it and then the playoffs to be as good as they were, I'm hella hogwash, man. I'm full of it, and I gotta chill out on the hoop hate next year. So
yeah.
We'll see if Kyrie's here. I'll be back at it next year.
It makes for good content because you guys were, man. And next year we're having if he is on the team, we're definitely turning to a drinking game. So
that's hella
every
funny.
every time y'all hate, it's one shot for first week of football. So we'll see who's standing. Neither of y'all.
Good.
And
Yeah.
B, you can go, but you'll both pass out. Sometimes as y'all hate it.
All good.
Never that.
All good.
Last 1 minute to win it. Mine is real quick. Shout out to everybody who's it's summertime, graduations, birthdays. Ali's birthday passed, Joe's just passed, Jilly's just passed. I'm coming up on a big one. Shout out to everybody with the June birthdays, graduations. Shout out to Cuzzo Julian, who just graduated too and was there to celebrate. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have nothing. Just shout out to my son Julian for graduating. Actually, it was a really good party too. It was a decent party.
Yeah,
it was a good party. So got to give it.
Yeah, it was great.
Got to give a shout out. But yeah, other than that, just thank everybody for listening. No doubt.
Cool. Me and G are out. Hey.
Yeah,
we leave it for Brian.
On a less celebratory note.
I'm gonna mute mine.
Yeah, on a less celebratory note, today, ex-President Trump got indicted and flew yesterday and was read all the stuff. But the important part here for anyone who didn't have a chance to see it live was when he flew back to New York, he did a press conference in which this man was talking so damn sideways that if I dictated to you what he said, you would not believe me and think that I was lying on this man. That's how crazy the things that he was saying were. So I just implore all of you to go find a video of what he said after being indicted on federal charges for the Espionage Act and what he did. And not to while watching it, remember, they have him on tape telling a reporter that I can get the good, stuff. And, I would have declassified it, but I can't declassify it because I'm not the president anymore. And I mean, it's insanity how much dead to rights they have. So much so that the Anthony Barr, the attorney general that he appointed and now hates because Anthony Barr is going, oh, they've got him dead to rights. He's in big trouble. And he has done every single thing that they did. Now, this is the man that he assigned as attorney general while he was president, basically saying, if I were the attorney general, I would be doing the same thing to him because he did everything that he did and he deserves all of it. So, like I said, I will not dictate it because you will not believe me. It was entirely crazy what he said afterwards, and a little bit scary. I mean, it was another one of those January 6th moments where he was clearly trying to rile up a crowd to see bad things happen.
Yeah. Hey man, R. Kelly pleaded not guilty too. So I mean, these, people out there like that. Just saying.
Oh,
people out there like
there's
that.
a difference between pleading not guilty. Look, guilty people, not guilty people. The first thing you do is plead not guilty because it's a negotiating tactic.
Right.
This man said that we're out to get him. That it was listening to it, my jaw dropped, and I have listened to plenty of stupid Trump speeches over the years, and my jaw dropped. And people started texting me like, "Oh, this man's talking reckless. Like, what side of his mouth is he talking out of?" It was.
Did he call it a witch hunt? Did he call it a witch hunt?
Oh,
did he say that?
Witch hunts. This is every president has done this. I was just keeping my own personal documents that I thought were fine because the man literally had documents. This is the thing that he apparently showed to the reporter. a full plan that was written up by the U.S. military about how we would respond and invade Iran if it came necessary to it. All with the top secrets tagging still on there and on the documents, and was like, yeah, I have the good stuff.
Oh,
like,
he a wild boy. Dang, he a wild boy.
These were documents that until they got out were probably still valuable, right? Our plan and our strategies to do these types of things, the military. And so the next question is, why did he have them? There's no value to an ex-president to have that. Not to mention, did anyone hear where he had him?
Arabian Nights.
He had him in one of his bathrooms, some by the toilet and some still stacked in the shower.
Funniest thing I heard is they said that's gonna be Pusha T's next album cover. That's funny.
Oh wow,
that's funny.
Yeah, man. But like the real question, like he's dead to rights caught, but it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets convicted and what happens next, and do they put a president in jail? They should. And it's interesting. They're trying him in Florida, so it's in the state in which he committed the crimes, which I find okay and understandable. But it's also a state that he has a fair
control.
Amount of
yes.
Sure.
The judge that is overseeing his case was appointed by him. Now, there's two ways to look at that. One, he can never say that he got a unfair trial by someone who was out to get him. He literally appointed this judge, but on the other side of it, it could be, he appointed this judge. How on the up and up is this judge? Because well, he's not.
Crazy.
So I hope it all goes well, safely. But people need to realize this, because we have another election coming up. It being indicted does not stop you from running for president. Being convicted does not stop you from running for president. As a matter of fact, we had one person.
Wow.
We had one person who ran for president while sitting in a jail in Minnesota.
Yeah, I was going to say
they did not win, but and they were not the Republican candidate, like a major party candidate.
Right.
But they were sitting in jail in Minnesota when they ran.
Yeah, I was going to say, still get ready for those "Make America Great" 2024 hats, because they're going to be coming.
I'm wrapping. That's end of our show. Yeah, thank you all for listening. And anybody we've been on for 5 years, as I mentioned before, over 1,000 plays on Spotify and Anchor. So thank you everybody who's given us a single player over this last 5 years. We appreciate you truly.
We're also on Apple. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We're also on Apple too. Apple
It's everywhere.
Podcast.
Search Sports Counterpoints. You'll find us. Appreciate you all. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time.